Hey everybody, my name is Rydo and today we're looking at Renegade Ops. Now this is one of the games that over the years I have gotten for free. This is a Sega published game. It's reviewed on Steam pretty well. Sega games tend to get given away though, particularly older ones. This one's from 2011, I believe. So yeah, you might actually have to pay some money and I don't, so take that an account with my criticism of this. This is also a twin stick top-down shooter, which is not a genre of games I genuinely like to play because they're a little too close to the bullet hell twin stick shooter games that become just a mess of particles on the screen and very difficult to look at in general. I did get this game for free, but it's not like I got it from Sega directly because I'm a YouTuber. This would have been a giveaway that was open to at least people in the United States, if not people around the world. But it's always important to try to maintain professionalism in video game journalism and disclose anything that might change a person's bias and explain how things are going, playing. Now, my screen may be a little messed up here, so we may jump in and find that it's not working. I guess the easiest thing to do would be to come to this, change this, and then I guess maybe change it back. Nope. There we go. So hopefully that didn't screw anything up. You can see now there's no more black bars. When I alt-tabbed out of the game, that messed up for some reason. Sega games and Japanese games in particular, particularly older ones, don't run very well. This game in particular says it doesn't support Windows XP, so that tells you how old this game is. I like the art style of these Renegade Ops, I suppose. They are kind of that action movie style of outfits and interesting mix of boys and girls in the picture here. Although, like, why you would need Renegade Ops ever is a question. And why they would dress like that is certainly a question which can only be solved through playing. There's some DLC, so we can play either Inferno or we could play the Cold Strike, which I assume is the DLC. Maybe I don't have the DLC too. That could be certainly a thing where they give away the main game and then if you like it you have to buy the DLC. Which, if I do somehow like a top-down twin-stick shooter, which this one is selling itself pretty nicely, it's definitely appealing a lot more than a lot of other ones. I guess we'll do Inferno. The first mission's together, team behind enemy lines to defeat Inferno, the fiery madman, intent on global domination. So, normal. I love when they do this, when they explain what they mean, what the developers mean by casual, normal, and hardcore. I think normal probably isn't for me because this is just not the style of game I'm used to playing. I'm much more a puzzle game player and a story-based game player. I can play a first-person shooter, but I'm not into like an esports level at that. So hardcore would be hard difficulty, 3 lives and increased score. I don't really care about scores. But if I play casual, it's easy difficulty, infinite lives, reduced score, no leveling, no upgrades, and no damage streaks. And so the penalty for playing on casual is so bad that I'm going to have to play on live, on normal. So we'll try that. So mission 1, baptism by fire, baptism in fire. There's a damage and a damage streak and high score. I guess I'm pressing Y and switching these two probably doesn't change anything in the gameplay. It probably just changes your personal best, I would guess. Otherwise, that would be very weird that there's two ways to play the same level. Alright. We can play... The idea of a twin-stick top-down shooter with characters that level up is interesting. We can play as Armand, who has an ability to hold the left trigger to extend an indestructible armor plating, temporarily making him invulnerable to enemy shots. We could play as Diz, who presses the left trigger to release an EMP that disables all enemy weapons in the large area around you. You can definitely see in the fact that they've named these characters and animated these characters. They want you to fall in love with these characters and hope that it became a series, although I would guess Renegade Ops did not become a series because I've never heard of it since then. But, you know, about if this was 2011, if we're approaching in a few years a 10-year anniversary, so you could remake it and try to reboot it. You could play as Roxy, who has the ability to call an airstrike, raining rockets down in the sky and the area around you, dealing high damage to all enemies within a radius. It is kind of questionable, though, in the actual gameplay, whether you're going to get to see any of these characters, or if you're just going to get 5 still images of these characters. It gives a personality, certainly, but it probably isn't going to get used as much as it seems like it will be. Gunner has a heavy gun to deploy a heavy gun, which then I assume shoots and does more damage. And because we're playing this on Steam, you can play as Gordon Freeman. They summon a swarm of Antians, which are some kind of ant creatures. Or you can play as Blasmo, which activates a burning maelstrom. Or you can play as Crystal, that has a force field that absorbs enemy fire up to a limited amount. So let's start with just Armand and see. When you press Y here, it switches between ability and tactics. Yeah. I'm not sure if I'm really going to end up playing as all these characters once, but I'm really not sure how far we're going to go with any of this. Let's see. We have no upgrade points right now, but going forward, if we got upgrade points, we could get nitro in our cars, which I guess we're going to be driving cars the whole time instead of flying planes, which is kind of what I thought I'd be doing. Or we could get time extension, increase the shield duration. So this is definitely a game designed, it seems, to move you forward. Seems like you can only equip 2 things until you hit level 15 anyway, so you might have to replace one thing with something else even as you unlock items. So that's something to consider. If you were going to play this game all the way through, you might want to say, hey, I want auto repair, so let's not get this first thing and save up our upgrade points. Let's start. This is really a weird way to start a game, because so far I'm loving everything I'm seeing, but I still feel like as soon as I actually get into the gameplay, I'm gonna hate the gameplay mechanic. It's nice that it's voice acted. It's nice that it's got subtitles, I guess, hard enabled, because that wasn't an option that I enabled.
Get your sister. Take her to the church. Run.
The graphics look great at nearly 1080p. There's a top and bottom black bar. That seems like way overkill.
Renegades, this is it.
It doesn't feel like they are really renegades as much as they are mercenaries, or I guess they're renegades, is what they'd be called to the. Let's see. Oh, I'm supposed to be shooting these things. I thought this was a cutscene, so I've been sitting around doing nothing because I couldn't move.
Heads up, renegades. Take out that mortar truck.
So the D-pad doesn't work. The left stick is way too sensitive to the point where I almost never do this, but I'm gonna have to come and see if I can reduce the sensitivity. Let's see. You could turn on tanks steering and you can reduce mouse sensitivity, but I literally can't control the game. And that wasn't my fear. It certainly could have been a fear, but I hadn't even thought about the thought that, yeah, this game just is going to control badly. So this is a car driving game. Was that a life that I just lost, or was that cool? Is it cool to flip yourself upside down? It's an arcade style game.
Another mortar. Get rid of it.
You're supposed to destroy mortar trucks. Let's see. I'm looking here. That looks like the bridge is shot out though, so why am I able to walk over that bridge? That's just animated wrong. No visual glitches already. So I like the arcadey font style. I like the idea. It seems like you're moving too fast to pick up items half the time.
My family, they're hiding in the church. Please, take me to them. You heard the man.
So you can turbo. Seems like you can go in different directions if you want. You can get a kill streak if you want. Do a lot of damage if you want. You have to, I guess, figure out where the church is, though. And apparently I'm running out of time. And so it is a bit Demolition Derby also. And Crazy Taxi even a little bit.
My family is safe. I will barricade the church. They won't last long on their own. Go help them out, renegades.
Yeah, so
There's more prisoners out there. Find them. Get them to the church.
like this is the kind of game that I could see people who like driving games with shooting games and top-down twin-stick shooter games, which I'm not sure how many people actually like top-down twin-stick shooter games. There's a lot of low-effort games that get released on Steam, certainly, that are top-down twin-stick shooter games, but I don't think that interesting. I think I'm probably supposed to get more prisoners and not just the one. Seems like you can jump off edges. That's cool. And we can...
They're trying to move the prisoners out of here. No way are we letting that happen. Stop those prisoner transports.
So... yeah. This is another game. Did I lose those 3 prisoners? That I think falls around the never gonna play it November theme, simply because it's just not the experience that I want to have as my own personal opinions on games. This is just not the kind of game I would play. I could see people having a lot of fun with it. I could see this also potentially getting converted into something along the lines of a mobile game. Like, I could see the benefit of that. Seems like you can do a lot of damage. I have 2 minutes to find something. Seems like you can also just kind of run away and ignore enemies. Seems like it pretty dynamically creates quests for you. And I bet this just goes on forever and ever. That there's kind of a no-stop experience here. I half expect there to be some kind of challenges that would also fall into this. Let's see. Things that would give me some upgrades. Here's my armor ability.
A rocket launcher truck. It's pounding that village. Put it out of action now.
And so we'll go towards the main mission. See, I'm probably just going to play this until I run out of health, and then that'll be it. We now have rocket launchers, which I can use at the right trigger to do some major damage. We're doing a damage streak right now. Seems like we got an upgrade on our gun. Yeah, I don't really see a lot wrong with this game. I just don't feel like it's a game that really appeals to anybody. Or the majority of video game players. It's too much of a niche. It's something that you would expect from a arcade style game in the 80s. It's got all the modern polish. It in fact looks fine for a 7-year-old game, and it handles resolution fine, and it runs on my computer at least perfectly fine. So if you know what you're getting into and this is what you want to play, this looks like it's pretty good. On top of that, I got this game for free. Unfortunately, games I get for free, since I have so many games and I'm much more limited in time than I am choice, the games I get for free often have no burden to be played because I didn't invest anything in them, and they can just end up I'm gonna try the armor. Oh well, when I have the armor up, I can't shoot, so that fails on that reason. I don't know what I'm really supposed to be shooting at. Clearly it's something different. This game is a little confusing with its roads and description. It seems like it's specifically taking me to the edges of the map, so I've probably seen most of it. And that should be the end of the game, I would have thought. Well, I have one more life, I guess. Still not sure what I'm supposed to be hitting.
Inferno's enjoying the show we're giving him.
Battle tank reporting in. Target in sight. Closing to engage.
So maybe you do 3 objectives, and then when you do the 3 objectives, that's when your final primary objective happens.
Inferno's bringing up his heavy armor. Take out those tanks before.
See, that's the game over there. Yeah. Wow, and it goes back to the main menu. No indication of a score or anything like that. You don't get any experience for dying at all, apparently. And if you want more missions, you've got that. Let's see. Now, knowing that you don't get any experience if you die, then you'd want to play on casual with infinite lives, but then you have no leveling, no upgrades, and no damage streaks. But I guess that would, I suppose, get you through the main story. It doesn't really seem like playing as a different character drastically. We're not going to play a whole level here. Let's see if we can skip this cutscenes. Yeah, it doesn't seem like you're going to get much of a different audio or video feedback. You can see also at 1080p those little cartoon squares you're seeing are a lot smaller than they probably were originally. If this was running at 640 by 480 resolution, that they would be a lot bigger. But the game still very much works and looks fine.
Buckle up, renegades. This is it.
You always start the same way. Here's her special ability.
Look out.
And they really didn't tell me I was supposed to be here doing basically a damage streak, warming up my fingers, getting XP. Not a significant amount of XP. Feels like this car might drive a little bit better than the other car, which is interesting. There's kind of no reason to stop shooting. You have infinite bullets.
Stop him. Inferno commands it.
So I don't have the airstrike, so I can't use it right now because I wasted it early in the game. This time the bridge is animating correctly. And that knocked me over, but I'm not sure if that matters. And there's really not a great way to speed this process up, so you would probably have to play these levels over and over again. I doubt that there's actually a...
My family, they're hiding in the church. Please, take me to them. You heard the man.
And now you can do turbo, and you couldn't do that before. Let's see.
My family is safe. I will barricade
You
the
can't
church.
skip these
They won't
parts
last long
too.
on their own.
So, with the likelihood that there's very few people playing online or the online servers are gone, this map is kind of useless too, the way it's
There's more
depicted.
prisoners out there. Find them. Get them to the church.
There is this... There would be a lot of grinding here. It makes a good argument that perhaps you would maybe try to cheat it a little bit, find a save file that already had everything upgraded instead of playing the same levels over and over again. You can tell this is kind of an older game because it doesn't have any of that shady microtransactions, experience boosters elements in it. Because you could clearly see, had this come out a few years later, it would have been a mobile game. It would have had tons of microtransactions. It would have been blatant and obvious and unapologetic about it. Sega, I wouldn't think would really care if they got some backlash on the game series that they had, that nobody even really had any real love for. Yeah, and this game is kind of pulling me towards wanting to play it some more. But as we can see here, the missions aren't really changing any. It's the exact same missions. Who knows? There could be 20 more missions happen after this point, and and you can replay some of those, perhaps later. But maybe not. I'm not sure what happens if you let the timer go down. It would take too long to try and find out. Let's try the airstrike here and just see what that does. That is a slow airstrike. And exit to the main menu. All current progress will be lost. So, oddly, the best part of this game, for me, is this picture at the front. But that's really a personal thing. If you're a big fan of top-down twin-stick shooter games, and you don't mind playing on a vehicle, a land-based vehicle, instead of flying around a flying game where the backgrounds and the levels might change more drastically throughout the course of a level, this still looks pretty cool, and looks like it's a decent game. It's definitely decent enough to play if you're into this gameplay style and you get it for free. So at the very least, I'd say keep an eye out on Sega, follow them. I have no idea if I got this as a giveaway from Humble Bundle Store or if Sega tweeted out a key or any other number of things. All I do is put games in a category of games I got for free at some point, and I know none of the games I've ever gotten for free have been because the company reached out directly from me, and I wouldn't probably accept any keys directly from the developers. But I am broke enough to take a free game if it's being given away for free to everybody. That's going to be it for what I guess we'll call a spotlight on this game. Sadly, it's just not for me. I think it's probably a great game. which goes to show that I'm just not the right kind of critic to play this game, because if I could play these styles of games, I'd probably be able to play it longer and find some more things to criticize about it. But no, that's where I've got to leave this one. That's it for this recording. As always, I end all my recordings asking you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos, because that helps me with YouTube and tells them that my videos are worth watching. If you want to, when you subscribe, click the notification bell too. If you want to friend or follow me on Twitter, Tumblr, Google+, Steam, or Battle.net, all of those links are down below in the description box. And if you want to support me, there's two ways. You can friend me on Steam. You can gift me a game you want to see me cover, or a game off my wish list, or just gift me a gift card, or you can support me via Patreon. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.